Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm Sank84 and welcome to my top 10 games of 2024. Yes, it is that time again where we look at the best games I have played this year, the cream of the crop, shall we say, and we've got some weird and wacky and fun games on here. Now, before we jump into the list, as always, there are a few caveats. Caveat number 1. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but I must have played this on the channel. If I've not played the game and recorded a video for it, then it doesn't qualify. It's no good me playing a game and saying it's a great game if I've not put it on the channel. So, caveat 1, I must have played it and recorded a minimum of 1 video of the game. Caveat number 2, it has to be a full game. There are a few games that I have played that a little more than demos. It is a proper game, but it can be completed in less than an hour. And to me, that's just more of a demo without the demo name. So I'm looking at things like The Protagonist and Doombra. They are technically full games, but they can be completed in under an hour. And to me, as I say, that's disqualifying straight away. They're more demos or concepts of a game rather than a full game. So this needs to be a game that is completed, that is going to last a while when playing it. Even if a playthrough may only last 20 minutes, you can go back and play it over and over again because that's how the game's intended to be played. And that does come into some of the games that actually did make this list. Caveat number 3. The game must have had its earliest release in 2024. Whether that was early access or its full release, it has to be in 2024. If the game was released in early access in 2023, but it was released fully in 2024, it won't count. To me, that's a 2023 game. So, they're the 3 caveats that we've got on the list. As far as I'm concerned, anything else goes. There's no restriction on the type of game. There's no restriction on any other parts of it. So, that's what we've got. And I know, you're sat there saying, shut up and get on with it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Get on with it.
So, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start right at the bottom. Number 10, we have Rack and Slay. And this one was a bit of a doozy for me. Rack and Slay, a roguelike billiard game. So, you are a white cue ball and you need to pot or pop other billiards. Red ones, to be precise. Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoy a good roguelike. And this had a really unique twist. And that's one thing I look for in games. Something unique. It might be part of a genre where there are a multitude of games in it. I mean, you can't go through a list without finding at least one game claiming it's a roguelike. And most of the roguelikes are, let's be honest, they're not that entertaining. They're not that good. But this one had something very unique. The fight system in it, where it was all about angles and power, as well as your luck of what you could actually get to help you change the way you play. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I actually did get pretty powerful by the end of the episode. So, yeah, we did jump into a mini live stream just to finish that off. But, yeah, there we go. A game I still play today. Moving on to number 9. And this one was a difficult one because I wasn't sure where to put this. This one actually ended up moving around, and at one stage didn't even make the list because I kept changing my mind about it. I am talking about Space Order Mine, another roguelike. And again, this one had the unique thing of Minesweeper being mixed in with it. And as a 80s child, I loved Minesweeper. It was one of the free games you used to get on every computer. You could guarantee you could bring a brand new computer home, set it up, and before you'd even installed anything, as long as you'd got Windows installed on it. Yes, I even remember bringing computers home that didn't even have Windows on it. We just used DOS. Go and speak to your parents and grandparents if you don't know what that is. But yeah, Minesweeper always came free with it. And I love that game. I was never very good at it, but I enjoyed playing it. So when Space Order Mine came along and said, here's a roguelike with Minesweeper, oh yes, I was hooked straight away. And then on top of that, the storage system as well. So you've got to balance your storage and make sure everything fits in. So there's even like well, it depends on your gaming history, but I always say a Tetris-esque feel to it. I know some people will compare it to the Resident Evil 4 briefcase. But honestly, I've never actually played anything past Resident Evil 2, so I'm not too sure on that one myself. But to me, as I say, it's more of a Tetris type of system. But that, again, was really enjoyable. Something I still go back to now and play in my spare time. And I just love it. I just really enjoyed playing it. And at the end of the day, that's what matters for this list. Okay, next, in 8th position, we have Infection Free Zone. A post-apocalyptic zombie survival base builder. And, okay, I'll be honest. There are so many games that could describe. But this one takes that premise and then says, we're going to put it in the real world. Now, whenever a game says, we're going to put it in the real world, you can play anywhere in the world. Just go and select an area and you can play. What they mean is, we've got some maps of certain locations and then a load of randomly generated maps that will be loaded up if you don't select one of the pre-made ones. And the pre-made ones might have a few of the major landmarks in, but the majority of it is just not right. This is spot on. This is a perfect, in quotation marks, replica. I've played several maps and they all seem to be almost door-to-door perfect. As I mentioned during the live stream, I've actually had a personal run through on one of these where I used my own house as the headquarters. And just to make sure this wasn't just, generated randomly, I actually went through and checked all the houses on my street. And every single one of them was there. Even the strange numbering system that my area seems to incorporate, that was incorporated as well. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter where you go in the world on it, it's going to be accurate. Or at least as accurate as it was when the game was made. Now, there are updates still coming out for it. What I hope means they're going to be, keeping the maps updated as well. But other than that, that was a huge draw and a big thing for me. But what I do love as well about this game is the actual story mode. It's not a case of, here you are, right, survive. There's an actual plot going on with a military unit and raiders and other things that I haven't actually got into yet but are there. And if I'm being honest, it's really, really enjoyable. It doesn't bombard you with the plot and the quests. It doesn't say, this is how you've got to do it. It lets you go and be free. And you can ignore requests. You can do whatever you want. If you want to help the military out, you can. If you don't have to. There might be consequences either way, but it's your choice. And it does affect the way the game plays out. Same with the raiders. You can say, screw it to the raiders and just kill them off and wipe them out. Or you can help them out and end up bringing them into your encampment so they work for you. Or you can help them and then send them on their way where they kind of just disappear off into the sunset. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what happens with that one. But anyway, that's it for this. And I'll tell you now, this will be back on the channel at some point. I will do another live stream of this at some point. So, keep your eyes out for that. Climbing up the ranks to number 7. A game that, well, when I first played it, was originally going to be a lot higher than this. However, this game had one of them issues that I find happens with a lot of games where I just get bored. It's enjoyable to play and there's so much going on, you put so much time into it, but then all of a sudden you just hit that wall and it just isn't fun anymore. I'm talking about Palworld. Yeah, the controversial Pokemon with guns. And, when it first came out, I was hooked. I was so excited to play it. I thought it was great. The premise, everything about it. And then I decided, as you can see in this, we did a challenge for a special. And it was fun. I really enjoyed doing it. However, It was during the challenge that I realised something. There's nothing to keep me going. I was doing the challenge because I had nothing else to do on the game. And, well, it just made me realise that, yeah, there was nothing to keep me coming back. I lost interest in playing it. Don't get me wrong, there have been expansions. There has been a lot that been added to it since I had done this video. But I've just never had the urge to go back. The bosses felt empty. There didn't seem to be any reason to go and fight them, apart from to challenge yourself. The glitch that made it fun, well, you could capture a boss and actually have a boss as your own. I don't know if they've put that back in, but they took that out, and I just thought, well, you know what? No, you're missing out on something. Okay, it wasn't intentionally meant to be in there, but it was, and it was fun. And instead of making it a feature, they took it out. Now, as I say, I know there was a lot of talk about trying to have that put back in. I don't know what happened because, as I say, I got bored of it, and other things took my attention away from it. So, yeah, it's been a while since I last played it, hence why it's so far down. But it was a really enjoyable game while it lasted, and I'll admit, keep looking at it to see, should I give it another go? Should I jump back in and have a look at all the new stuff? And I probably will at some point. That's why it's on the list, because I probably will just jump back into it and give it another go. Either just on my own time or as a live stream. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what comes up in the new year. But, yeah, Palworld, great game, so much potential, but I just felt let down. It just didn't keep my attention enough. So, anyway, great game. Can't really complain the game itself, but it just didn't hold me the way some of the games on this list have. Moving on to number 6. This one has been up and down this list. It has moved around more than any other game on it. In fact, I think at some point while doing this list and rearranging it, it's been in every spot apart from 1 and 10. I have moved it around so much, but it finally settled at the top of the bottom half. I'm talking about Foundry, the procedurally generated automatic mining, base building, something or other science tech type game. I don't know what to put this under, but it's a great game. I keep going back to it. It's something that, well, when you start, you just lose track of time. And at the end of the day, isn't that what matters with these games? You just play it to lose time. And I'll say, I've loved some of the additions they've put in. I mean, they've even put in open sandboxing. Now, so you don't have to worry about research or resources. You just go and build whatever you want. Now, for me, that's not really why I enjoy the game. It's not part of the game I actually play. I've tried it out, but yeah, it's not my sort of go-to when I'm playing it. I like to start off on this, and my biggest enjoyment is watching one little robot at the start digging up the basic resource, and then watching as my base grows into a monstrosity of conveyor belts, cranes, lifts, stairs, ladders, hills, caves, you name it. Just watching the madness unfold and trying to keep everything running on top of it. What isn't there to enjoy? And just being able to set things out as well. And on top of that, being able to go, you know what? I'm going to destroy everything. I'm just going to break everything down into its basic components and start again. Remap it all out. Redistribute everything. And reorganize it all into something different without worrying about losing out on anything else. And I think that's just what makes it so much fun. Not really much else I can say apart from a good chance this may pop up again at some point as a live stream. We did do one little live stream with it at one point. But yeah, I'm sure we will be seeing this again, especially as they are still adding to it and tweaking things and changing things. So I'm sure this will turn up again. But yeah, the top of the bottom half, we've got Foundry. We're now moving into the top half. And, well, this one in fifth. This one had me worried because this is part of a franchise that I find the games are pretty hit and miss. I'm talking about the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. And yes, I know we are definitely coming back with this because I've been enjoying the playthroughs of it and the live streams. But going into this, I was very, very apprehensive. We've had some really good Lord of the Rings games. Okay, personally, it's been a while since I've seen a good one. But there have been good games. And then we've had games that we will not be mentioning that promised so much but were absolute stinkers. So yeah, when this was announced and they announced what type of game it was, I'll admit it wasn't the sort of game I thought I was going to enjoy, but I loved the concept behind it and I couldn't wait to give it a look. But I really enjoyed playing it. And okay, it would probably be a lot more enjoyable if I had any friends who would play along with. But I'm enjoying the challenge of trying to do this solo. It's actually really enjoyable. Trying to build a base up that not only is practical, but defensible. Trying to go out and search areas for resources and clues and information and improvements while trying to keep track of where you are when things go wrong so you can get out of there. On top of that, when, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when you inevitably die, there's no panic about trying to get back. Because if you did die again before getting back, unlike a lot of games, you don't lose it. It just sits there and you just get a second spawn point where the stuff that you've got on your sits. So you don't actually lose the stuff from your first death. You can still go and pick it back up. And, okay, there's a few little niggles with it, like some areas just don't seem to want to load in properly and we end up sitting around waiting for a minute or two for it to load. But other than that, yeah, there's not really much I can complain about. I've really enjoyed it, and now that I've figured out the base building mechanics a little bit better, and we're able to build proper defensive walls, yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to play more in the new year. So keep your eye out for that coming very soon. Moving up into 4th, we have Tactical Breach Wizards. And what can I say about this? In fact, the biggest thing I can say is I can't believe it actually didn't make it into the top 3. We got knocked down by some really impressive games this year. And unfortunately, yeah, Tactical Breach Wizard was one of them really good games. But I wasn't, how can I put this and be polite? It was fun to play. It was enjoyable. It was interesting. But down at its core, it's been done. There are a lot of turn-based strategy games out there. And yes, adding wizards into it makes it fun. Being able to use your magic to push somebody out of the window and see them going flying never gets old. But the only thing that really makes this stand out from a lot of other ones is the cutscenes, actually. It's the cutscenes that really make this as enjoyable as it is, because it's just pure fun and satire, the way everybody interacts. It doesn't take itself lightly. It's all fun, even though it's meant to be serious. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable, well-made, well-thought-out game that I've really enjoyed playing. Okay, I may not bring it back to the channel again. Don't hold me to that. I might do. But there's no plans to at the moment. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be playing it in my own time. I will and have been playing this myself, off stream, off camera, off everything, just in my own personal time. And I'm enjoying it. And I can't give it any more praise than that, really. Because at the end of the day, if it's a game I enjoy, it's a game I enjoy. Okay. Here we go. The big ones. The big guns. The top 3. And these ones deserve it. These are 3 unique games that each have something special about it that just has that hook. You hear me talking about a game that has a hook, and these 3 have it. I can see myself playing these 3 games over and over again for a long time. So, coming in at number 3, we have Beastie Ball. Yes, I mean, come on. It's Pokemon with volleyball battles. And it is so fun. The fact that you're not actually trying to capture them, you're trying to make friends with them and get them to work together. You can have them fall in love with each other while playing so that they get extra abilities when they're on the court together. And it's just really, really fun. And the game, while I've not played the full release on the channel, this is the one that I had a bit of worries about trying to get on. I have played a pre-release version of the full one, so technically it's been on there. But yeah, this has not long come out in full, and I've just not had a chance to get a full version video out. But we will do. Come the new year, we will be jumping back into this and carrying on from the live stream that we did not too long ago. And I can't wait to carry on, see how our little away team have been doing, see how everybody's getting on, and find out if we can save the preserve. So keep an eye out for that, because again, it will be coming soon. That's a promise. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, it's just so fun. It doesn't take itself too lightly. All the characters are unique and have their own fun little personality. Each of the beasties has their own personality. And, well, it's just a fun way to do team battles without actually fighting. So, hopefully you'll come and join me when we do that one again. Into second place, runner-up, we have Dungeons of Hintersburg. Yes, oh, this one was so tight. I was tempted to have this in first. I had it down at third, but it never dropped any lower. It was always been in the top 3, and it finally settled here in second. This charming, unique RPG is just beautiful. It looks beautiful. It runs beautiful. It plays absolutely beautiful. The puzzles are challenging without being daunting. The fight, slightly repetitive, but what can I say? It's enjoyable. It doesn't put too much emphasis on anything. It spreads it all out. The use of magic being different in each area, and each area using that magic to sort out its puzzles, and just the plot as well. You start off as somebody just away on holiday and then get thrown into the dark secrets of Hintersburg and what's going on. And, well, I can't say any more than that because, as you may or may not have heard, I'm not sure, I've had a few issues with my computer, and Dungeons of Hintersburg seems to have decided it wants to join that list of games that worked perfectly up to a certain point, and then it just won't let me get past it. And yet we just got to this bit, and unfortunately we could not get any further, and as it kept crashing in the same area, yeah, we couldn't actually complete the level. Now, you couldn't see it, but this is what I saw every time it crashed. That's how my screen went. And I was lucky I actually managed to get it captured. But yes, unfortunately, I've not been able to sort that issue out. And I've been back a few times to try, and it keeps happening. But I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to look at different things and hopefully one day get it sorted. But this is it. This is the game you've been waiting for. What game have I enjoyed playing more than any other this year? What game have I actually put more hours into than any other game released this year? And that is the key to why this made it to number 1. As I've said, there's a few games that could have made the number 1 spot. But the winning reason this got number 1 is because when I checked how much time I'd spent playing each of the games on the list, this cleared every game I played this year by a country mile. I'm talking about Millennia. the civilization-inspired empire builder. And, this game has me hooked. I put in countless hours every week. If I've not been recording an episode, I have just been playing it in my spare time. And this game has changed a lot from when it was first released at the beginning of the year until now. It is so different, and yet it kept that same basic feel from when it first came out. Now, when it did first come out, it was very limited on the number of civs or empires that you could play as. The national builder wasn't quite ready, and the start was a bit hit and miss because you didn't have a choice where you started. But then, as time went on and the game started to get its legs, we got some extras added. Starting off with Ancient Worlds that added in the Ice Age. So, you were going around as hunter-gatherers, trying to survive an Ice Age and trying to then find where you wanted to settle. And you could just settle anywhere straight away and get into building and get a head start on all the other empires. I mean, you could go turn one and get into there, getting your empire started. Or you could then go around doing some gathering, some hunting, some fighting, getting some experience. So when you put that first city down, you got a huge boost to your stats. So you could get a big jump on something. And that wasn't all. They also added more civs into it. They added more to the national builder. They added a few new governments and ethics. And yeah, it just expanded from there, a bit like your borders did in the game. But they weren't finished there. We've just got a new DLC that's just dropped that changes the game completely again. And that is Atomic Ambitions. Atomic Ambitions really changes everything. Now, you thought with the Ice Age that changed a lot, but once that fades away and you're out of the Ice Age, the game plays pretty much as normal. However, with Atomic Ambitions, no. Again, they've added more empires into it. They've now also added more empire bonuses into it, and even a lot more maps. But the key thing is, on the startup, you start after a nuclear war. So, you start in the Ice Age with everything frozen, just coming out of an Ice Age. But with Atomic Ambitions, the world has been going. Everything was going well, and then there was a nuclear war, and you've all been put back into the Stone Age. Only this time, there is nuclear fallout everywhere. And there's no more tribes. They're survivor camps instead. And there are ruins from the old world that need to be explored. And so much other things. There's no more fish because the water is irradiated. So you can't rely on your water for food or anything like that. It just puts a whole another challenge on it. There's even new resources on there, and they've even added some bads into it. These are things like waste, whether it be nuclear waste, oil waste, carbon dioxide, all the bad stuff that can be produced, even just generic day-to-day household waste is a thing. And it just adds a whole new level to it. And I'm really enjoying playing it like this. But, as I say, that's not everything that it's got in it. There are so many different routes you can take through. There is no one correct path through it. This has hooked me. This has got me, and I'm going to say it. I think Paradox have done an amazing game with this. They have got something here that's going to last, and I can't wait to see what extras come down the line, because there's so much they can add into this. And as I say, it's not even been out 12 months yet, and they've already dropped 2 DLCs and changed so much. So I can't wait. Can't wait to see what's to come and what's in store. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to be playing this for a while. And with Civ 7 coming out, it's going to give Civ 7 a run for its money. I don't know if Civ 7 is going to hook me as much as this. And I know that's a weird thing to say, considering I have played every Civilization game that's ever been made. And I do love the Civilization games. But this has just got it for me at the minute. So we will see how things play out. But that's it for me for another year. That has been one heck of a year we have had with games, and I cannot wait to see what's to come in 2025, because I've already got a few games down ready to play that I cannot wait for. There are so many games coming out next year that I am hoping my PC can handle, because after this year I kind of panic about what my computer is going to let me play or not. So that's going to be the deciding factor on what we get to see next year. But hopefully you'll join me for all them and more, and hopefully we'll find some unique fun games that can make my top 10 of 2025. So I hope you'll join me for them. But in the meantime, I've been Stank84, and this was my top 10 games of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me. Look after each other, and until next time, goodbye.